Hello everyone, I'm Shauna. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. And if you are a returning subscriber, I love you guys. Thank you so much for the support, and I mean that sincerely. In this video, I'd like to do something a little different. I usually talk about home fragrance. I'm a Scentsy consultant, and I talk about body care because I love all things, anything to make me or my environment smell nice. But in this video, I would actually like to talk to you about my experience with COVID-19. So, I don't know why I'm so nervous to do this video. I was nervous for like my first 2 or 3 videos, and then after that it wasn't, because you guys have been so wonderful. All of the comments, encouragement, and it's just been fun. It's just been something really fun that I love to do. But let's jump into it, because I feel that God put it on my heart to share this, so I'm trying to be obedient. I am normally a very private person. I don't talk a lot about, my life that much, or things that I go through, but I need to share this. Okay, so when the pandemic first hit, I was doing really well, and still have been, about, wiping everything off. I bought Lysol. I keep one in my car. I mist the air in my house after, someone comes in, or just occasionally to try to keep me and my canine companion Peyton safe. And I've been doing pretty good about, not being in large crowds and that sort of thing, and just taking extra precautions. Like, I clean off all of my groceries and supplies and containers and everything, and I, don't wear shoes in my house, just trying to be extra. You know what I mean? Like, everything I could. So, my friend actually got really, really sick, and I was around him, and I was thinking, ooh, what if he has COVID? Because he was coughing and everything. And one morning I woke up coughing. Like, I had this, it was a dry cough. You know what I mean? And it was persistent. And I was like, oh no. And he calls me and he's like, yeah, it's COVID. You should go get tested. I'm like, okay, so let me give you a little bit of background about my health. This is where I'm opening up to you guys. I have something called ITP. I shouldn't claim it. I have been diagnosed with ITP. It is idiopathic thrombocytopenia. They do not know what causes it. They think that the disease hails out of the Middle East. So maybe I have I know I have ancestry there. But yeah, so basically what ITP does, short, that's the abbreviation for it, is my immune system is confused. Okay, so my immune system attacks me. It's silly. So what it does is it destroys the platelets in my blood. So we need platelets so that we don't bleed to death from a paper cut. Okay, platelets are what helps your blood clot. Okay, my immune system thinks they're enemies, so they're like Pac-Man, just any platelets. So I've been on several medications for it, and they finally found one that seems to be working, and I've been on it for a little over a year. So basically, I take this medication twice a day to suppress my immune system. Okay, so leading up to finding this medication that actually works, the doctors removed my spleen as well. Okay, that didn't fix it, by the way, so I'm spleenless for no reason. But if you know about a spleen helps your body fight infections, right? So when the pandemic hit, me and my family had a lot of fear. Like, oh no, this could be the worst thing that could happen to Shauna, So they're like, be extra careful. Everybody's worried about me because, hello, they suppress my immune system. And what do you need to get over a virus? A strong immune system. I have had pneumonia. I have had double pneumonia. I've been hospitalized for it. So yeah, me and COVID, just not great. So when I first heard about it, I'm like, okay, Yeshua. In America, we typically call him Jesus. That is my God. And I'm like, okay, so what am I supposed to do? So I pray a lot for you guys and for myself and family and neighbors and just everybody, for their protection and healing and just everything and repentant hearts. Gotta have repentant hearts. That's what he wants for us. Hi, Peyton. My dog is visiting the cameras a little bit too high to see him. But so yeah, me and COVID, no, just a bad thing. My immune system is suppressed. I'm rambling a little bit. I'm so nervous. So, as soon as I heard it, he's like, go get tested. I'm like, I'm not going to get tested. I'm going to ER. I have no immune system. So I go to ER. They test me and they do a rapid test and it's COVID. And I'm like, okay, what do I do? And they're like, just go home, try to get some rest. I'm like, really? You guys saw my chart. I'm here often. I have a compromised immune system. So they sent me home and I'm like, okay, Yeshua, I can't do this. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so... I can do this. Just bear with me. So I'm like, okay, I can't do this. I'm turning it over to you. So my brothers had given me this plaque, and it has a scripture, Isaiah 41:10 on it. Do not be afraid, for I am with you. Do not be discouraged, for I am your God. And I had that thing clutched. Oh my gosh, why am I crying? This is so silly. I should be happy. So I go home. The doctors call me back. And they're like, actually, we didn't do the right thing by letting you go home. Come back. Yeah, we need to give you an immune therapy. So I'm like, yeah, that sounds more like it, right? So people with compromised immune systems like myself get an infusion of immunotherapy. And the one I got, it's BAM is short for it, BAM. I can't pronounce it. I'm not even going to try. But they gave me this infusion, and while I was there, I had a temperature of 106, I think it was, or 107. I can't remember. But I was so cold. I was just freezing. And they're like, no, take the blanket off. You can't have blanket. Take off your jacket. They're like, no. And I'm freezing. I'm like, this is awful. And I'm coughing. But I could breathe the entire time. I could breathe. So I got the infusion. I go home. I am so tired. I'm extremely fatigued. I have a wonderful aunt. God bless her, Tanya. She has a YouTube channel as well. Tanya Talks to You. But she shipped me, overnighted me, zinc cough drops and vitamin D. And then she put some other stuff in there too, like Vicks Vapor Rub. And she's totally like a mommy. I'm like her daughter. But yeah, and I just started taking every vitamin I could think of. Multivitamins, vitamin C, potassium. Sometimes my potassium drops. Just everything. Vitamin E. I'm in, and everything she sent me. And I'm drinking chicken broth and onions. Like that was what I ate for 2 days. So basically, I only had symptoms for 2 days. Okay. So I took some Tylenol to get the fever down. And then day 2, I started with the body aches. And it hurt so bad. Oh my gosh, my body was just, it was very painful. Okay, pain and fatigue. But Yeshua must have been breathing for me because I could breathe the entire time, guys. I never struggled for breath, ever. And I'm just so grateful. So 2 days of symptoms, and I was fine. I was like, I'm back to normal. Now, after being diagnosed, the health department, I should have looked up the email, but they call you and they email you every day to report your symptoms. You're supposed to be in isolation for 10 days in my state, which was fine. I had no problem staying away from people. I was so worried about my dog. He actually has his own room. Judge me if you want to, but he has his own room. But he likes to sleep in my room with me. But I made him sleep in his room, and every time I started coughing, he would just come over, and by day 2 I was coughing up mucus. But he would try to come over whenever I'm not feeling well. He just wants to come over and put his little nose to my face, and I'm like, you just can't, Peyton. I'm so sorry, and I'm like crying, like I'm so sorry. I'm such a big baby, but I was fine. And what I will say, I have been living in fear since the pandemic hit. Like, I have just had this fear, this stress, and this dread, and it's gone. I am so free, and all the glory be to God, because I he took care of me, because I turned it over to him. I said, I can't do this. You know, I don't have a spleen. Yeshua, you know I don't have a spleen. How can I do this? And they're suppressing my immune system. You have to take the lead. You have to take care of your daughter. So he did, and I'm so grateful and happy, and there is no more fear. I can't get vaccinated because I've had COVID, so that's like a vaccination. So I have to wait 3 days before I can get vaccinated. And I'm still mulling around. I mean, I don't have a problem with vaccinations. You know, being an American, I've been vaccinated since elementary school. What do we get vaccinated for, you guys? Tetanus, tuberculosis, polio, flu. I don't know. I've had pneumonia vaccines 2 or 3 times, something like that. So, but I have no more fear. I'm like, I'm actually relieved. Yes, I still wear my mask. Yes, I'm still considerate of other people with the social distancing and everything, because I don't want to be the reason that somebody has a bad day or that they're filled with stress or dread. So just be considerate, you guys. Even if you're not afraid, just think about how other people feel. You know, that's what I would tell everyone. So I'm still respecting everyone, wearing my mask. You know, since having it, I haven't been to see my grandparents, even though I can. I mean, my symptoms have been gone. Everything. I'm fine, but just be really considerate and love one another and treat other people the way you would want to be treated. That's what Yeshua taught us, right? So, really different video. If you stuck in there with me to the end, thank you. I'm sorry I cried. I always cry when I'm talking about my God because I love him. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. And if you found this content helpful, please like and subscribe. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, friends.